Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Andrea Tooley. I'm an ophthalmologist in Rochester, Minnesota, and I treat patients with thyroid eye disease, or TED.
And I'm Beatriz, also known as B, and I'm a passionate advocate who was diagnosed with Graves' disease and thyroid eye disease approximately 5 years ago.
Welcome to the third episode of TED Today, a special daily show we created for the first ever TED Awareness Week. In each episode, you'll find helpful information for those living with or caring for people with thyroid eye disease.
In today's episode, we will focus on thyroid eye disease caregivers. Este programa es totalmente en inglés, pero si necesita recursos en español, por favor visite la página que se indica en esta pantalla y ahí encontrará recursos que le puede ayudar.
We have an excellent lineup of guests and information today, including Debbie, a caregiver, is here to share her story of caring for her husband with thyroid eye disease and what she learned along the way. Ron, living with thyroid eye disease, and his wife and caregiver Vicky will share their experience together.
So without further ado, let's meet our first guest. Hi, Debbie. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
I'd like to start by asking you what it was like for you to learn about the fact that your husband has thyroid eye disease.
Oh, that was an interesting story because his thyroid eye disease was hidden in a host of other symptoms. It came on with other symptoms that we frankly had to pay very much attention to. He had heart palpitations and pain in his head and stomach. The eyes were watering, but frankly, we were worried about his heart, and we were going from specialist to specialist to try to find out what was wrong. And then in the end, we found out that he had a thyroid problem. Then I just, out of sheer desperation, looking for help on the internet, I typed in the word COPE, and up came the Graves' Disease and Thyroid Foundation.
Can you talk about what it's like for him now, what it's like for both of you now?
Well, he still experiences symptoms. Sometimes they're more profound than others. There's some eye pain, some eye strain. Occasionally he has double vision. We're dealing with some dizziness right now. So during every day, our day kind of revolves around his eyes. I check for any changes that I might see from day to day. There's eye drops, there's eye exercises. Light plays a big role in our life. Is there not enough light? Is there too much light? Is the light coming from the wrong direction? And also going out for our daily walks, that's changed a little bit because we use the buddy system. We hang on to each other. I'll point out obstacles on the road or on the sidewalk that you would have to watch out for. And dizziness is a real issue.
Do you find that your life in particular is, as you said, completely revolving around his eyes? How do you cope with the things that you need to do?
Caregivers are mortal too. We have our aches and pains. We have our conditions of our own. There's emotional up and downs. So it's very important to have some kind of a friend or tight family situation. Be around friends, be around laughter and humor. Find a time of day where you look forward to, even if it's maybe you'll pick up a book and read it or take a quick walk and just feel the sun in your face.
What do you find has been helpful to you in terms of resources that caregivers can turn to learn more and to have the kind of support that you need day to day?
My favorite resource is onegravesvoice.com. There's information about everything you can think of there and suggestions on how to make life easier. Also, social media, you can find support groups there. You can find people very easily and kind of hook into their story and then see if you can encourage them, and most likely they will end up encouraging you, and that's just a wonderful kind of partnership that is so very important. So that's what I would recommend.
Debbie, this has been terrific. You have really provided us with some very helpful information, but more than just information, inspiration. We are so grateful to you that you were able to be with us today.
And I'm so happy to be here.
Ron and I have now been married for going on 28 years. Since Ron was diagnosed so soon after our marriage, we're trying to get used to being a normal married couple, and it's not normal to have any disease thrown in to the mix.
And I felt particularly guilty, and there's really no other word for it, than subjecting my brand new wife to somebody that was becoming a totally dependent, almost useless person, because that was the feeling that I was having.
My take charge husband having to rely on me and other people when that was not in his personality, which increased his frustration, and I could see that. But I was forced to take charge in some ways. That wasn't a foreign aspect of my personality either, but it did create conflict. I had to do all the driving. I had to clean up all the messes. I had to support him emotionally when he was, oh my gosh, what's the future going to be? It'll be okay. But sometimes I wasn't feeling totally confident myself that everything was going to really be okay. Whatever life throws at you, if you've made a commitment to seeing things through together, then you do, whatever happens. Graves happened to, and thyroid eye disease happened to Ron, and we just deal with it.
During this Graves and thyroid eye disease evolution, Vicki has meant everything to me, still does, and always will.
I will always be there, and it's not dull. It's been, but I don't think you would have been dull even without this. We just had a really good time.
Thank you all for joining us. We hope you enjoyed today's episode of TED Today. Make sure you tune in tomorrow as we discuss the care team and everything you need for managing thyroid eye disease and how to be your own best advocate. See you tomorrow.